Welcome to the Shameless Promo Podcast. I'm Quinn Ford, an introverted entrepreneur who used to shrink away from selling, and now I teach women how to sell for a living. Each week, you will find episodes that will help you grow your confidence in showing what you have to offer so that you can grow the business of your dreams. People need to hear what you have to say. You have to promote yourself shamelessly. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode. I know it has been a while. I am resurrecting the Shameless Promo podcast, and I feel like I'm ready now. So, if you have listened to one of my last lives, I was talking about not starting on another platform, not starting another source of content and leads until you really get comfortable figuring out one. Instagram has always been my domain. And I think that I am so clear now with who I talk to, what I help them with, how my voice is different. My messaging is super targeted now. And I think I really had to figure that out before adding something else. I used to get just kind of frustrated or confused anytime I sat down to record one of these podcast episodes because I was like, so unclear about what I wanted to talk about here versus on Instagram. And so I'm really excited to bring this back. I just love talking to y'all. Like, I can talk forever about anything. And so I'm excited to just get this started. First of all, I changed my name, which who does that? I know, I get it. And a lot of people who I've talked to about it totally understood after I told it to them, but it's a bit of a weird story, I guess. Like, I have always wanted a different name. My birth name, Jadia, is a beautiful name. It's not that I don't like it. It just has never felt like my name, which is such a weird thing to say, but if you know, you know. When I was younger, I used to have my mom call me by different names. She never would. I just would always ask her to. And I thought I just had to grow into it because it was so unique compared to everybody else. At least that's what people were telling me. And I grew up. I'm 30 and I still don't feel like it's my name. I know logically that it is. Like, intellectually, I've learned that it's my name when I see it written or when somebody calls me it, but it's never felt like my name. I've never connected to it. So after talking to my mother, after doing deep soul searching about what my new last name was going to be, because my last name was Quinn and I knew I wanted that as my first name. It's my Starbucks name. And I had to pick a last name. So I developed a short list, and how I chose was I was pretending to like introduce myself on radio shows or being called up to speak, or even somebody being at my offices to see me, Miss Ford will see you now. I just kept going over and over with all of the options that I had on that short list. And Ford was the one that got me like scared sighted. I was really excited about it. It felt like almost like I need to grow into it. And that's how I want to feel. I feel like it really represents who I'm becoming and who I want to be. And so Quinn Ford is my new name. I am changing it legally. I am just in the beginning stages of the process. So yeah, you'll see on my Instagram, I've changed to Quinn Ford as my name. And I've changed my handle because my handle used to be my name. And I want to separate from that because I really want a space where I can be creative using my own name. And then I also want this beautiful coaching business. So my podcast was called Shameless Promotion. And so I decided to just call my business that. And unfortunately, Shameless Promotion, the handle is not available. So my handle is Shameless Promo Coach. And I think I'm just going to shorten my podcast name to Shameless Promo and just have my business be all about that. So I'm really excited about the changes. I just wanted you to know why and that it's me still. And I'm still going to talk about the same things. We're going to have lots of fun over here. And I just wanted to get that out of the way so that you know and you're in the know of what's going on. Some people have told me it sounds kind of like what transgender people describe as their experience with their gender. And so I am curious, I guess, to other people and how they feel about their names. I've talked to several people who have felt very similarly to me. And we've only talked about it since I decided to like change my name. So it's interesting, very interesting, because our names are given to us at birth before anybody knows who we are. So name has so much weight, has so much meaning. And we're known as that our entire lives unless we change it. And we just kind of live in a world now where if you don't like something or resonate with something, you can change it. And so I am. So that's the story. So let's get into today's podcast episode, which is all about your time, being a master of your time, because time is the most precious resource that we have, especially as business owners. And I'm sure a lot of you out there, whether you are a full-time entrepreneur or you are still building this on the side while you have a full-time or part-time job, or maybe you go to school, that this is something that takes time. It takes time out of your day, out of your week, but it also takes time, like years, to grow into what you want it to grow into. And so this is a question that I get a lot about: how should I spend my time as an entrepreneur? And it's an interesting question to me because I don't think about time management a lot, to be honest. I guess I've always not been good, quote unquote, at time management. In college and high school, I always would do things very last minute. I'm still a last minute person. I am somebody who will show up 5 to 10 minutes late to something. I just don't see time the same. I think time is very important and I do value my time and I try to value other people's time, but it just is a construct that I don't always fit inside of. It's hard for me to explain. But I'm not like a super time management person, is what I'm trying to say. So when I keep getting this question of how should I spend my time each day, or help me create a schedule so that I can get, things done in my business, I've been thinking a lot about like, well, how can I help people with this? So I've answered this a lot for my clients, so I feel comfortable enough to bring this to you now. But if you're a super time management person, I would love to hear from you because maybe you have some other tools that could help. But let's just get into it. Let's get into being a master of your time as an entrepreneur. So first, you need to decide your priorities because only so many things can get done. Only so many things can get on your calendar. And so you have to know your priorities first so that you can decide when something comes up, does it get your time or does something else trump it, right? So there was a time in my life where I felt like my relationship at the time was competing with my business because my business was really just getting started. I had to give it a lot of time and nurture. And my relationship at that time wasn't super strong. It was also kind of new. And he just really didn't understand what I was doing or why I was doing it or why I was quitting grad school or why I was spending money that way or, why I was just working so much on it. And sometimes I felt like he didn't take it seriously in terms of, him deciding to call me or come over while I was trying to work and, just didn't see it like a job. And so it was a lot of tension for me in my mind between the two until I decided what my priority was. Once I decided my priority was my business, and if things went left, if it came down to it and I had to decide, I would choose my business. That was so freeing for me. Like I didn't have to break up with a person. I didn't have to like have all of this fighting in my head about which thing gets which time. If it came down to it, I was able to decide what got my time at that point. And then I could schedule intentional time with my partner at the time outside of my business time. So I could just keep it separate because it was no longer competing, because in my mind, I knew which was number one. So sometimes you just have to get brutally honest with yourself about what's getting your time and why. Like, just come up with a list of your priorities. What gets your time when? If it comes down to it and you have to choose between things, what gets priority for you? Have that solidified so that other people, when they come to you, they bring you opportunities, they want to have lunch with you, whatever, you already know how it gets scheduled because you know your priorities. The other thing that I really want you to think about is your like calendar rules when it comes to this. Because if you have your priorities and then you're going to schedule something, I want you to have solid calendar rules for yourself. And they will go along based on your priorities. They will also go along your energy flow, which I'll talk to in a second. And it's also going to take into account just like realistic time blocks that you need for certain things. Because sometimes we're just not scheduling enough time for things or in between things. So use a tool. Calendly is the one that I would recommend. It's Black owned. The free version has a lot of capacity, or it has a lot of features for you to use. And sometimes it's all you need. So have that set of rules, have your priorities, and then you can plug it into a tool like Calendly. So for example, you can decide how many calls a day you want to schedule. You can decide like how long of breaks you need in between calls. You can decide like how long from now can they actually schedule a call, and a whole bunch of other things. But this is so super helpful because you don't have to be involved in the process. People can book with you through your link, and all of your calendar rules are abided by and followed, and you don't have to get involved. That's you enforcing those boundaries. You don't even have to like argue yourself down. You just set the rules and it flows. I think that's super important, and just protecting your time so that you don't have to waste time thinking about these things. You don't have to be involved in the scheduling process. It does it for you. And really, like, it takes into account what you need in a day. I want to talk about energy flow, because the way that you schedule should not combat against how you naturally are. I talk about this all the time. Like, whenever you are doing something, you should not work against yourself. You should work with yourself. Same goes with scheduling things. For example, if you are a super morning person and you are dead to the world by 3 p.m., do not schedule things that need a lot of your energy after 3 p.m., right? It sounds like duh, but I'm telling you, people do not think about this. You probably do not do this in your schedule. So, for example, I'm a morning person. I am somebody who's dead after like 4, maybe even 5. But for me, when I get up in the morning, I can't do stuff right away. I need a slow morning to kind of just get into things, to get my brain going, because my energy is there in the morning, but my brain ain't there in the morning. You know what I mean? So I don't really schedule things before like 9, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is my sweet spot. I do have a client that starts at 9 a.m. Because of our time zone like schedule thing, but that's on 1 day a week and it's just for her. So schedule your stuff when you know you are going to feel the most energetically aligned with whatever it is. So for me, it's really hard for me to coach people after a certain time of day. It takes a lot of energy from me, and I really want to be in my best energy when I'm coaching my clients. What I can do in the evening is fun stuff. I can go out for a drink with a friend. I can try a new activity. I can do something that feels relaxing. I can go to the beach. I can go to the pool. I can, go to a candle making class. I can do all of those kinds of things after 4:30 p.m. Where I don't want to be working. At night, I'm dead to the world when it comes to coaching or working or being with people. But what I can do is creative stuff. My creative brain, if I allow it, will come on around midnight and it will just like, it'll just love what I'm bringing to the earth. Like, it's like, yes, girl, you have great ideas, right? And so I can sit down and I can focus on one thing and I can create it and I can be in that zone late at night, but I wouldn't be able to do anything else during that time, right? So maybe I schedule creative focus time at 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. or whatever. Not every night though, because I also need rest, right? I need times where I'm resting and not doing those things. I need self-care time. And that stuff is also just as important. So I want to talk about theming your days because this can help you kind of decide like, okay, how your energy is and which days get which things. Because if you theme your days, it makes it a lot easier to like chunk things together. So for example, if you have calls with clients, don't have calls just willy-nilly every day, right? You need some days where you're not in that brain space and that you don't have to switch in and out of things. It is near impossible for me to do a whole bunch of things in between my calls and my call days. I don't like to schedule things in between. I need time to decompress and process and do a little admin stuff to follow up and get the notes out and the replays and all that kind of stuff. Like, and then have intentional breaks. Maybe have like numbing brain TV time or read something and make sure I'm eating my meals and all that kind of stuff. Nothing else gets scheduled on call days for that reason. Theme your days. Maybe you have days where you're batching content or filming or recording your podcast or whatever it is. Like, have that all on the same day because you're already in that brain flow. What I'm showing you to do here is not go against the grain, basically. Working with your brain and how it works, chunking the things together that make sense to do together, and really allowing your brain not to have to spend so much energy switching in between things or switching out of something or working on something that does not actually make sense for the way that your energy flows during that time. Like, do not work against yourself. You are not wrong here. However you are is fine. We're not messing with that. We are creating a schedule that allows you to feel like you've mastered your schedule, that you are the CEO of your goddamn business and you can have your life however you want it, right? That's what we're going for. So do not schedule too many things in one day, because you're not going to feel like the master of your time or the CEO of your business if you have done 5 things, but you still got 30 other things on your to-do list. Really, are those things even things that you got to do right now? Probably not. I go with the top 3 method. I actually use the Full Focus Planner by Michael Hyatt. I really love it. I use the bold line because I'm a color junkie. I love colorful things. The Full Focus Planner, if you're watching the video of this, you'll see me holding it. I love this bright poppy color. This is the second one that I've had in the same color. I think this is the third one that I've used. They are quarterly planners. They hold 90 days. And every single day on the daily pages, it asks for your top 3. And then it has a little section for your ongoing to-do list, which I think is fine. Pick 3 things. Pick one thing and a secondary thing, whatever it takes to get you focused. Like, you don't have to knock everything off of your list. The list doesn't even have to exist. All you really need to know is what's going to move the needle forward the most today. If you are, going to school or working full time or whatever in another job, be kind to yourself. Don't schedule too many things for your business. Schedule 1 or 2 things each day to get done in your business, because those things are going to push you forward so much more than trying to knock out a petty to-do list just to say you worked on your business today. Only do the things that matter. Only do the things that matter. If you do 1 thing a day, if you do 2 things a day, if you only spend 1 hour on your business a day, do the things that matter. Because your to-do list can just keep growing and it can just keep being there. And it's not that important that you get all those things done. All you did there was just write out everything you possibly could get done, and you need to prioritize it. And you need to be the master of your time in your business for making the decisions about what does get done and when. So part of mastering your time is also realizing that a long to-do list is not efficient. It's not actually productive at all. And you have to make the decisions about what gets done. Make the CEO schedule. I also want to say that you have to be realistic with the deadlines that you set for yourself. This is a hard lesson that I'm still learning, that when you set deadlines for yourself, you have to be realistic in the sense of not only how much time it's going to take to actually complete the thing, but thinking about all the things you have going on around it in that week or on that day, how long those things are going to take, how much attention they're going to take. Do you actually have breaks in there? Do you have time for yourself in there or for your family? How long will it take you to drive to that thing, right? How long will it take your brain to switch out of one thing and into another thing? Don't set yourself such tight deadlines, because you're just setting yourself up for failure. And then you're going to attribute it to you and your own abilities when really you just weren't realistic about how long it was going to take to do the thing. So be super realistic. How much time do you actually need to get something completed into the hands of somebody else, or just for yourself? And then the last thing that I feel should be included in your CEO schedule is time for fun and celebration. And I think it's so, so important. You need something to look forward to. Particularly money loves to know where it's going. It loves to know it's going to go to something fun, whatever that is. Plan for fun, plan for celebration. You need it. You are not your business. You are an employee of your business. You run the business, but you are not your business. It is not all of you. It's not all encompassing. You need time outside of it for fun, because business is a long game. And in order to sustain your energy and sustain how you operate your business, you need to have fun. And you also need to set aside time to celebrate the things that are happening in your business. You're getting clients. Yay. You got a cool collaboration, or somebody paid you to guest teach or whatever. Like, celebrate that, whether it's like just taking a moment to really feel it, whether it's going to get your nails done, whether it's, taking you and your spouse out to dinner, like whatever it is. Plan those things in. Do not let your brain rush by them, because each individual thing deserves to be celebrated. Each dollar that comes in deserves to be celebrated. And that should be part of how you spend your time. I also just want to warn you that going full time in your business will not give you more time. I know you're probably like, but if I have all of my time in my business, why wouldn't that just give you more time? I promise you, when you go full time in your business, if you have not already, you're not actually going to feel like you have more time. Do you have more time technically to work on your business? Yeah, I guess, but you won't feel it. It won't feel like you have copious amounts of time to spend on your business. So create the foundation now. Create the priorities now. Create the calendar rules now. Schedule in that fun time now. Make those themed days now. Use those scheduling tools now. Set up that foundation so that when you do go full time, or you do have a full client roster, or you do get booked and busy. I hate feeling busy, but you know what I mean. That you have that foundation set and you're not scrambling to try to figure out those basics. All right, we got it. We got a plan. All of those things put into place, scheduling on your energy, theming your days, setting up Calendly, your calendar rules, all the things. If you have any questions about this, you can always come find me over on Instagram at Shameless Promo Coach. I would love to hear if you set up your CEO schedule. How's it going? Tell me. I love talking to you guys. And right now I feel like I'm talking to you, but I'm not. I'm kind of talking to myself. So talk back to me. I want to hear. I will catch you on Instagram and I will catch you next week on the podcast. We have another good episode coming for you. Talk to you soon. Bye. And there you have it. Thanks for rocking with me this week, but the party doesn't have to end. Come hang out with me and continue the conversation over on Instagram at Shameless Promo Coach. If you enjoyed this episode and feel so led, go ahead and rate and review Shameless Promo if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, and make sure that you're subscribed, or follow my podcast over on Spotify. I'll see you next week, same time, same place, with another episode. XOXO, Shameless Promo.